do with all my videos, I just want to say that it'd be a good idea to get your touch-up paints. In this case, I took my elevator, which had the red and the orange, and I took them to my local Ace, and they matched it up for me. I do this on all my planes, not that I intend to crash or anything like that, but unfortunately I do, and it's available for my repairs. Also, you'll get some hanger rash regardless, no matter how hard you try not to, and it's nice to have that paint available. Okay, according to the manual, they want you to do the landing gear first. I've got a nice little adjustable ratchet type screwdriver that I use. I bought a set, and I also have a little earth magnet attached to it. Let's see if I can get you a little better angle on this. Okay. Alright. Let's start off by loosening Alright. Now, I'm going to turn this little puppy upside down. And according to this, the part that has the little plastic on it goes to the front. And you want to make sure you insert now. You should hear a click. You should hear a click. There you go. Same with the front. There you go. All right. Okay. Well, that was easy enough. And you want to make sure you tighten them down. Not too tight. Well, tight, but don't strip it out. Now, according to this, they're going to want you to put the tail section in. Got a nice little hatch here to get into the servos for the rudder and elevator. And I'm just going to loosen those up for now. And I'll tighten those up later on after I center my servos. Now the tail section supposedly is a pretty easy assembly. On the second hole, I hope you can see this, on the second hole there's a piece of tubing in there, and this rod has to go with the tip of that angle going to the left. So we're just gonna slide that through. Now there's a groove in here that's gonna go slide over this rudder pin. There we go. There we go. It's up tight now. Alright, okay, the pin did come out of that servo arm, but that's okay. Okay, we have one screw, and that's going to go up through here. What's nice about these ratchet ones is you just ratchet it in there. And you see that gathering up there, she tightened up. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks good. So far, so good. Easy assembly. Alright, now they want us to do the wings. I guess they intend for you to put the receiver up in front here where the battery and the ESC is. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and come up through here. I may even cut out a piece. I'm going to take a little break here and just do a little thinking on this. I don't like the way they have it set up where that receiver is going to sit right up close to the ESC. So I'm going to take a little break here and I'll be back to you in just a bit. Okay, I'm back, and after looking this over, I decided I wanted to cut a piece out here so I can get access to the receiver. So what I did is I just took a razor knife and very carefully cut through the foam on this point here where the door line is, and there's a line here, a mold line. So I cut through those. Now when you cut the sides, you got to cut at a 45-degree angle because the foam's too thick. You just keep cutting into the foam. So cut at a 45-degree angle on both sides so you get through the thickness of the foam. Now what that'll allow me to do is just pull the hatch off. Now I'm either going to use earth magnets or I might just tack it in with a little contact cement. As far as I'm concerned, that's fine. It gives me easy access to the receiver that way. And when you got to pull the wires through, it's going to be much easier. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go on to the wing. These are tacked down with glue, with hot glue, all the way to the front because that's where they wanted you to mount the receiver, up here somewhere. So I would suggest on the back here is to hold the wires down before you break away from the little dabs of hot glue they had. Otherwise you might pull the wire out of the servo. One of the tips I got off of YouTube, Kurt, I think it was Kurt at Two Brothers Hobby, they got this little carbon fiber pin, and he suggested to get that in there and give it a little swirl to open that up, and I did that and it went right in. Otherwise you're really going to have a problem. It's cut so tight that getting it in is going to be very difficult. Now you gotta see, with cutting that out, I can get in here and pull the wires. That's the advantage of having that cut out. There we go. There's a screw on the wing. So we will do that. Make sure it's nice and tight in there. And don't over tighten that. Pins went in pretty easily. Okay, there we go. Turn it over, tighten that screw down. And put this pin in. That's nice and easy. The assembly on this is probably one of the easiest I've ever had. Okay, my next step is going to be setting up the receiver on this. So I'll get that hooked up and figure out the setup on the transmitter, and I'll come back to you. I'll be back to you in just a bit. Okay, I'm back, and after playing around with all the wires and mixing and matching the wires to the receiver, I finally got everything all set up. What I want to do now though is I want to remind you all to balance your props. You should do that on all your planes. I have here a Dubro balancer, and it's about $20. Don't take it for granted that they're balanced, because 75% of the time they're not. This one seems to be really balanced nice, so I won't have to do any sanding on this. But it's a good practice to do on all your planes, is to balance these out. So with that done, okay, I set up the multiplex Pilatus in here, and let's see. She's flashing. Get about 3 to 5 feet away when you bind, though, and don't point the receiver, the transmitter at the receiver.
GSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry. Bind complete.
Okay, my receiver looks good. I have a throttle kill switch on here.
Motor off.
And obviously I need to
Motors armed.
switch the voice command on that. Okay, the motor is turning correctly on that. It should rotate counterclockwise. All right.
Time remaining 3 minutes. Takeoff flaps.
Yeah, can you see up here?
Landing flaps.
Almost 90 degree. Yeah, much better.
High rate.
Yeah, lots of throw on the high rate. Okay. Take that bind plug out. I always forget to do that. Nice. Very nice. This being a top wing, you're going to balance from the bottom. What I do is I use sewing pins marked by 58 millimeters. And what I do is I just jab it with a pin. So I take my super glue and I put a dab of super glue in there. Okay, I take my needle nose and we'll insert that. They're basically sitting on top. You'll definitely feel those. So I'll let these pins dry and I'll be back to you in just a bit. Okay, this is John from Hangar 37. I'm going to do a wrap up on this multiplex Pilatus PC-6. I gotta say, it was one of the best assemblies I've ever done. Easiest. I did some mod work on it, which added a little time to it. But other than that, everything was as advertised and even better. I did a taxi test on this, which I'll have a video coming out in the next day or so. Went terrific. It has a lot of power. For as light as the plane is, I think it's going to be real airworthy. I think you're going to be able to do a lot of aerobatic stuff with it. You'll probably be able to hover it. I've seen videos where they have, and I was very suspect that they had done upgrades on motors. But it had a lot of pull, and so I'm going to do a maiden on that hopefully in the next day or so. I got it for $185 on a special from Tower Hobbies, and dollar for dollar, one of the better planes I've gotten since I've gotten into the hobby. So with that said, I'm just going to wrap it up, and I want to thank you all for watching. Watch for the maiden on this to come soon. I wish all you pilots out there blue skies and calm winds.